Hello and welcome to a brand new episode and actually also a brand new podcast, TripOn. This is a podcast in which we combine architecture, entertainment and urban life. And this is an episode in which we want to introduce ourselves and also the podcast. So first of all, let's just start with the 5 W's. In the first place, the who. My name is Lee.
My name is Alex.
I'm from the Netherlands.
And I'm from Poland.
We of course also have to give you some information or context as to who we are actually. So I am a professional in the theme park industry. I work as a creative lead.
I am an architect and currently I'm traveling the world.
And we both have quite some experience in the themed entertainment industry because we both worked on a project together where Alex was the architect on the project and I was the creative lead. And we were actually developing and building a theme park, which is also why we have kind of a heightened interest into themed entertainment, I can say. So then we get to the what. So for the what, we of course sat down and we had a discussion about it as to what would be a really good format for the podcast and what would be a nice way of doing exactly what we want to do and communicate what we want to say. So I think to start off, one of the things that we discussed is that we want to keep every episode around 1 hour max. So it can also be a little bit shorter than that. And maybe Alex, you can tell a little bit what people can expect from the podcast.
Yeah, we would like to focus on architecture, entertainment, urban life, sometimes give some tips from us or talk about what we've experienced in the specific location. Because there is so much to see and sometimes it's just nice to have a good guidance to decide where to go or what to do.
And I think also an important thing is that we are still searching as to how we should give it the right shape, what we should include into the podcast episodes and what not. I think at some point even we will maybe change some things. And I think also we should be open to hear advice and tips from the listeners at some point. But for now, we think that the pillars of the podcast are going to be city trips, road trips, so a little bit longer trips, and visits to attractions.
We would like it to be positive and upbeat, but at the same time give our professional insights and be able to discuss it further.
Yeah, we want to analyze also what is on offer so that you don't only get the view from the eyes of a tourist, but also from an architect and a themed entertainment professional. And I think this is an important one to elaborate a bit on because right now we are both in a moment in life where it did make sense to make this podcast and we have to explain a bit why.
Yes, currently we're both traveling a lot on the professional level, but also on the private level. In my case, I've decided to move to Dubai and experience a new culture. We have a lot to talk about and share with others.
Yeah, and also on the note of the when, this is a moment in which because we are traveling so much, we also think it's a good opportunity to actually talk about all this traveling because sometimes you tend to forget details or we don't really take the time to sit down and really discuss what we've seen, what we've experienced. So that's a really nice aspect. And I think another point is also that Dubai is, of course, a very accessible hub. It is connected to most of the world. And this gives the opportunity also for Alex to go anywhere and to see all the differences in cultures. And for me, it's also an opportunity to come to Dubai and experience the world from that perspective.
At some point, we're even thinking that maybe this podcast could be a form of a diary or a form of a
archiving memories, basically.
Notebook, yeah, exactly. So we could keep all the memories and come back to them because with time you can easily forget about things you've visited.
And we get older, so we start to forget more. Now, it's also because we see just so much, and I think it's also really interesting to share this knowledge. From what I learned in working in the theme park industry is that if you share a lot, it really helps, and it helps people around you. And I love being a mentor for younger people, but I also really love to just tell about this kind of stuff, our experiences, because I think you can always take away something out of it. Also on the note of the when do we actually release new episodes? Well, it's a bit of a hard one because we don't really have a release schedule in mind yet. It also mainly has to do with our schedules, but we do have a whole list already of potential episodes. So we hope to at least give quite a lot of content and to offer a lot to listen to.
We will make sure that with every trip we take notes, and we will try to combine them and make a nice episodes.
So from the when, we will go to the where. And this is an interesting one because the where is going to be quite flexible.
I would say everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be probably everywhere. It might be so that when we talk about kind of like home base, the where is going to be changing quite a lot. We have a moment now that we are able to sit next to each other to record this. And there's also going to be a moment where we do it on distance. It's also interesting because the where dictated for us that we invested into equipment, and we are all doing this now in the field. So we are testing with it and seeing if it all works. And I really hope that the quality is good enough. And we have to see also in the future how we solve that challenge.
Yeah, on the distance, we would like to do it from anywhere in the world. We would like to be able to connect with each other and have a conversation that we could also keep as a nice episode.
Yeah, we gave ourselves the challenge because, of course, we need to travel around with the equipment and we need to figure stuff out technically. But I do have some background in recording and in media production, so I think we will manage. So then we get to the why. I think we already covered most of it, but also one other aspect that I want to say on the front of the why is because we also truly believe, the both of us, that to go out, to experience new stuff, you don't always have to make it a long holiday. You can also make it a trip. And I think I'm truly a believer of the fact that having, for example, 6 to 10 trips in a year can be way more impactful than going somewhere for multiple weeks in a row.
Yeah, and our trips are usually super active, so we try not to stay in one place, but we move from place to another place, or we try to experience different things that are being offered in the specific location. So we never really make it typical holiday that we just lie down on the beach or go for all-inclusive holidays. We are trying to make it more challenging for ourselves.
I think we can safely say that we are often more tired after a trip than before.
Yeah, I would
we are
say,
those kind of people.
Yeah, we need holidays after the holidays every time.
And that's actually not a bad thing. I really like it. So, this was a bit of an introduction. Also, we really hope that the sound quality is decent, that it all comes across well. We are doing this right now from a hotel room. We actually invested in some equipment, which we're trying out right now. And we have to get more familiar with the medium. And we will also try to shape the podcast so that it becomes very comfortable to listen to. And I really hope that people are listening to it while on a trip. That would be great. And I know that I am listening sometimes to podcasts when I'm on the plane. I tend to look for something and then I download it and I listen on the plane. And I think it's a really nice way of getting your mind set up for whatever you're going to experience after. And I really hope that this podcast could be used the same way.
Thank you for listening.
And we hope there is way more to come and that you're going to listen to many more episodes.
To sum up, our tip:
go on and plan your next trip.